love John Taylor week 1 because I'm not buying the committee narrative that's been coming out. Marlon Mack is not going to be a factor in week 1. Might be, but he's always on the field at the same time as JT. He has his own play packages as a slot receiver. So I think independent of what Nyheim Hines does, Jonathan Taylor is going to get 20 touches. And his price is depressed. His upside is insane. And I'm not sold on Seattle's defense. I know that JT's going to get some work in the passing game. DraftKings is PPR, so I want his 5 catches for 50, 60 yards. I want his 100 yards rushing that he's going to get, and he's probably going to score at least 1 touchdown. And so I'm going to start with JT because nobody's paying attention to him. Everybody wants to go after more. Like, there's so many good cash plays this week at running back, but you'd be hard pressed to find value on those same plays in a tournament.
No, I agree. What do you think about James Robinson? Suddenly the bell of the ball
Super
again.
value.
400. Let's check out what Run the Sims thinks about him. I'll get back into our optimizer here.
He might be like 80% rostership.
He might be. I mean, at 6,400, you're talking
nice. That's not overly low. So I mean, maybe optimistically, it's not super high rostership, but I mean, you never know.
You never know. And between him and who would you rather have, but him or Joe Mixon? Joe Mixon, of course, about $1,000 or $100 cheaper in DraftKings. So he's 6,300. James Robinson 64. Any lean for you if you're in this conundrum? You've got a little bit of extra money to spare. You could go either or. Who are you leaning towards? Or Najee Harris too. They're all in the same range right here.
So I like Najee and Mixon in cash game because they provide a very safe volume floor. But I'd rather have Robinson in a tournament because I mean it's a really good slate for somebody who's kind of like JT, just kind of off the radar. He's not CMC returning. He's not Alvin Kamara getting blessed with a starting quarterback who can push the ball down the field and take guys out of the box for him, because we know that Sean Payton offense relies on Kamara on the horizontal routes and then somebody at wide receiver running the inside routes. And they really only target the first read of the quarterback on every play in New Orleans is either to the X receiver or Kamara. That's it.
Yeah.
When they throw it, it's like they got their eyes fixed on one of those guys.
Well, I think that it is very helpful to understand where the ownership is going to be. We don't have all that data yet, so we'll revisit this. What we're going to do is we're going to set it and forget it. We'll revisit both of these lineups. We're going to do a cash lineup after this too. We'll revisit it the week of when we get in the Saturday night right before. We'll evaluate player injury, things like that. But I really like this. If you don't know, I am targeting, Bo. This is a strategy. It's not something I've written about or talked about. I'm targeting the AFC South for their offensive skill position players.
Yeah.
It is a strategy, my friend. So why not take advantage of it? If you're going to do it in I guess the redraft, big picture, why not narrow cast that down to week 1 where defenses are still getting set, still learning playbooks.
Especially running backs. Running backs that play against Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee are going to absolutely blow up every week. We have 3 terrible defenses in that division, and the Colts are a really good defense. But, I mean, just looking at the whole schedule breakdown, is we have a lot of stud running backs that are going to be facing the AFC South yet again, just like what JT did last year, just like what who was it that was
Derrick Henry, James Robinson,
Henry, Monty feasted on that stretch down the end of the year.
Yeah,
and it's not any better. Like none of these 3 defenses got any better.
No,
none of them. They're like Houston's even worse now.
Yes. Houston's worse. Jacksonville is getting better, but they're still terrible in relative retrospect. And so I love this as a kind of initial in-your-face, have-a-taste millionaire salvo, as we would say. So let's talk about...
Did you want to plug in my game stack right away, or did you want to kind of save that?
No, I did. I wanted to say right away, I'm putting in Calvin Ridley immediately. Immediately. Is that something that you would hesitate to do immediately or just double immediately?
Yeah. Immediately put Ridley and Pitts in there.